Why terrorism?
Because I'm Japanese.
Ever since this whole COVID thing, I've been stuck inside a lot, and because of that, I got a Netflix subscription, and because of that, I spent a whole lot of time binging shows that I never got to watch. I finally finished The Office, which not watching it earlier is something that I will always regret, and a crap ton of anime too, because why not? And one of the many anime that I watched was Code Geass, and I loved it. I was pretty much hooked from episode 1. The central premise of the show was really interesting, and it was great to see all of the different tactics and strategies on the battlefield. I think that Lelouch is a really unique protagonist, and his Death Note rivalry with Suzaku presents an interesting take on that cat and mouse dynamic. All of the other characters are relatively interesting, and when it came to their development, it was always well done and executed in my opinion. Everything that happened in the first 20 or so episodes were all engaging, and you know what? It was just a really addicting show in general. That's the point I'm trying to get at. But all good things must come to the end, and for some that happens earlier than others. And for me, it happened when, well, anyone who's watched Code Geass probably knows what I'm talking about.
Yuffie, stop!
This thing. My Geass did this?
Zero, please help us. You must help.
Okay, it's no surprise that this scene is really hated, but I don't think it's absolutely irredeemable. Actually, there's a lot of potential behind the central conflict of this episode, but something about the way it was executed just always puts a sour taste in my mouth. I can't quite put my finger on it, though.
Whether it's to shoot me, to grant pardon to Suzaku, or any order at all.
Oh, now you're being silly. Stop playing with me.
I'm serious. For example, if I told you to kill all the Japanese, it wouldn't matter how you felt about it.
Oh yeah, there we go. I don't think that I should describe my feelings for this moment, mainly because it would be a never-ending cycle of cuss words. When I first watched that scene, I went into such a blind frenzy that the only thing I directly remember is me trying to summon all of my willpower to watch the whole damn thing. It hurts so much more considering how up until this point, the show has built up nothing but good faith. Whenever I try to rewatch the show, or more specifically whenever I try to get past that scene in general, I am always shocked to find out that I'm somehow even more disappointed than the last time I watched it. I mean, seriously, how many shows can you think of that does that? How many shows go from so good that you would rather binge the whole thing in one sitting than studying for your exams like a good boy, to this is the worst thing I have ever seen and I will never give the show the time of day ever again? It's already disappointing enough that this was able to happen in one episode, but it's even worse when you stop to think about how it literally took one line to tank the entire show and everything related to it. So enough with this stupid rant, let's actually get into what makes this scene absolutely terrible. So the context of the situation is... Holy shit, this guy is tall. Okay, so the context of this scene is Princess Euphemia is hosting a major event that could quite possibly be the most climactic and momentous event in all of Japan. An event that will actually change the course of the entire nation and all of the citizens residing in it. Just keep that in mind for a while. As an icon of the Japanese people, Lelouch, or Zero as he's known in the public, shows up to keep up appearances and agree to help out with the grand occasion, or so it seems. Lelouch, unsurprisingly, has an ulterior motive, and requests a private meeting with Euphemia in order to carry out his plan. Once inside, Lelouch seems ready to do what he needs to do in order to continue support for his cause, until he is swayed by Euphemia's pure innocence and decides that maybe he should just help out. This is where it all goes to shit, and it's also where this happens.
Whether it's to shoot me, to grant pardon to Suzaku, or any order at all.
Oh, now you're being silly. Stop playing with me.
I'm serious. For example, if I told you to kill all the Japanese, it wouldn't matter how you felt about it.
This interaction fucking stuns me with how coincidental, stupid, poorly written, bewildering, out of character, random, unexpected, baffling, and unbelievably bullshit it was. You're telling me that Lelouch was looking directly into her eyes while having an easy-to-use gun while saying those exact words while his Geass just happens to go out of control at this very moment, while the most important and impactful event in all of Japan is also happening at the same time? Oh yeah, and let's not forget the fact that he's saying this to the fucking princess, the person who just so happens to be running this whole thing, and someone with enough authority to command an entire legion of soldiers to act on that command. That's a lot to buy, show. And look, the whole Geass going out of control thing was hinted at and foreshadowed in previous episodes, so I'm not too mad about that happening, but the sheer amount of coincidences piled on with that really shatters my suspense of disbelief beyond repair, but not nearly as much as what Lelouch says in the situation. At first, this might seem like just a stupid throwaway line that the writers used to get on with the story, and that's very much what it is, but think for a second who's saying it. This is Lelouch v. Britannia, the same guy constantly praised as one of the smartest anime characters of all time, if not the smartest, the same guy who sparked the whole rebellion, the same guy who manipulated hundreds of people to side with his cause, the same guy who made the biggest military force in the world look like a joke, the same guy who checkmates someone in one turn using the king, which I don't even know how he moved the king on the first turn. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I can buy the fact that maybe Lelouch was caught off guard by his Geass going out of control and that maybe he could have accidentally caused something to happen because of it, but I can also guarantee you that it definitely wouldn't happen like this. Forgive me if I'm speculating here, but I don't think Lelouch, the guy who knows the powers of the Geass fully and understands the weight he carries from using it, the guy whose first action after getting it was to find out the exact capabilities and limitations of this newfound ability, and the guy who was made actively aware of the possibility of his Geass going out of control and swore to never let it happen to him, would ever say this.
I'm serious. For example, if I told you to kill all the Japanese, it wouldn't matter how you felt about it.
Anyways, I will never not feel betrayed by Code Geass, and by the title of this video, you can probably guess that I won't finish watching Code Geass anytime soon, which is honestly a shame because I'm probably missing out on a lot of cool stuff. I can admit that maybe dropping the whole show just because of that one episode was a bit extreme, but at the same time, I just had better stuff to do. From my time watching it, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and even after watching that episode, I still can't bring myself to hate it as much as I want to.